So I'm here today with Renee Giarrusso, and it's an absolute pleasure to be interviewing you today for the Lockdown Library interviews. We've known each other for a little while, but haven't met too often, so it's a great opportunity for me to talk to you and share your wisdom with the audience. So thank you so much for being part of the Lockdown Library.
Oh, thanks for having me, Rebecca. I think the whole initiative's amazing. So well done.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be going into our fourth version very soon, so keep everybody posted. So we're going to talk to you today. You're a leadership and communications expert, which I love about you. The thing that I love about you, though, is that you live what you do. Your message comes through in everything that you do, which is fantastic. And I know that you work with a broad range of organizations and people. And what I love is the name of your book. The name of your book in the Lockdown Library is Limitless Leadership. And we're going to talk about that now, but we're also going to talk about your next book, which you're writing at the moment. But if we start with Limitless Leadership, what made you write that book?
Yeah, I've always, and it's very cliche, but I've always written since I was about 8 years old. I've always had books in me, and limitless has been my big word for quite a while. And I just wanted to get the message out there in an accessible and easy to read sort of resource that leaders and everyone's a leader, Rebecca, like we're leaders ourselves, that could access easily and make it practical so that they could actually embed the learnings. And I think that's important.
So who did you write this for? Who were you thinking of when you wrote this?
Yeah, for anybody leading a team, but as I got deeper into the book, I sort of changed it. So initially I have a bit of a model called three-dimensional leadership, which is leading self, leading others, and leading and influencing decisions. And the book was going to cover those three areas. As I got into writing, as you would know, halfway through the book, I was still deep diving into self-leadership. So, you know, after speaking to the editor and a bit of thought to it, I thought we're all leaders of our own life. It starts with us. And whether you're leading a team or you're not, that book's applicable. So we did have quite a few reviews from people saying, I wasn't going to read this because it had leadership in the title, but it was relevant. So it's Limitless Leadership, leading from the inside out.
Fantastic. And what's something that people can kind of take away from the book and start doing now?
Oh, yeah. So the book's based sort of on our Limitless Leadership Master Model, which is sort of the backbone of a lot of our programs and coaching. And it's basically around commitment. So being committed, not compliant. And we all know that, you know, your title isn't who you are. So being committed at a deep level to you, your purpose in and out of work. So you bring your whole self to work and your whole self to your team. We deep dive into connection, which we all know is an innate human need. So there's a lot in there on purpose, belief, values, connection, and that sort of, you know, that side of things. And a really, really big, you know, big piece is communication, as we all know. And those people that know me, leadership to me is a bit of a buzzword, but people understand it. It's really what's under that, which for me is understanding yourself and others, and communication is key. So the main thing of the book is just take a step back, take some self-reflective time, which I think too many people and organisations think is indulgent, and really have a look at where you're at and where you're going. And Limitless is all about evolving, learning, unlearning, and relearning, and not resting on your laurels. I'm a big, what I call a bubble bursting mindset. You know, there's so much we can do, and we need to go from human doings to human beings to really tap into our true essence.
And I love that. That message of yours really resonates with me, because I'm a big believer in being better. A lot of the work that I do with organizations is about not just sitting on our laurels and not just being compliant at work, but actually doing more. And I love that you're focusing very much on, we start with ourselves.
Yeah, and we have to, and everything we do, even with clients, we strip it back, because everyone goes attention out. about everyone else. And if you don't have your own backyard in order, then, you know, you're never going to be as happy, fulfilled, and motivated. Another key message in the book is, you know, don't do what you're good at, do what you're good at that you enjoy. And I do a lot on motivational intelligence. So tapping into what lights you up and finding out what lights other people up, and then complimenting and appreciating those strengths. So almost hanging out with people that are good at what you don't enjoy. And then you get a strength-based team. And I always led that way back in the corporate world.
Yeah, because we do find a lot of people kind of recruit people around them that are very much like them. And you're saying that's the exact wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I think when you understand differences and appreciate them, you can have a dream team. So if you're off the scale, goal oriented, like I am, I'm good to be around someone that's probably more analytical, a problem solver. Not saying I can't do that. I'm actually good at that. But we could, you know, they could slow me down and I could speed them up. So you meet in the middle and you have this sort of this overlay that's just very dynamic.
Yeah. Fantastic. And so that Limitless Leadership was your first book, and I know you've written another book, but what I'm really interested in is the new book that you're writing now. Tell us a little bit about the new book.
Yeah, the new book's called The Gift Mindset, and the Gift Mindset's all about embracing and being aware of challenges and successes, accepting the lessons to help you, not hinder you, and then sharing those lessons with your loved ones, with your team, with your organisation. I came up with the concept about 1.5 years ago when I noticed that, you know, there are a lot of leaders out there who have great successes and either get busy and move on or sweep them under the carpet and use them as a secret weapon. On the flip side, you know, people that have gone through a lot and highly resilient, I really believe their lessons could be someone else's survival guide. So the book is all about how to adopt a gift mindset, a lot around awareness, acceptance, and action. And we even talk, Rebecca, I've brought in I'm a bit of an creative person. We've brought in the different types of gifts. So pass the parcel, everyone knows you never know what you're going to get. So you can look at that. And then it goes into the 12 gifts, which was really hard to distill down. So I'm actually, as we're talking, 2.5 weeks off writing the last 2 chapters. But, you know, we've got the gift of resilience, the gift of forgiveness, gift of empathy, optimism, growth, change. And the idea is to unwrap your gift and share it with the world.
So they all sound like leadership qualities, but they also just sound like really great human qualities.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's there were 50 gifts. You can imagine there could be a few part 1 and 2s. No, there were quite a few gifts, and it was really hard to distill them down. And I think we all go through change. We all go through, you know, the gift of courage. I bring in a personal story there. My dad came out from Italy when he was 2 during the war, and he lost his, you know, siblings on the boat on the way over. And this amazing story that I had the opportunity to delve into through some relatives and bring into the book and the lessons. But you're right. I think, you know, I'm a big believer we need to bring our whole self to whatever we do. And, you know, the habits and traits and values we have in and out of work really need to cross over for us to live congruently with who we are.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And I think this is something that at the moment a lot of people are struggling with, situations at home and at work that they weren't expecting. And so that resilience and that being true to yourself is going to be even more important as we move forward.
Totally. And I think, you know, we do probably, like you do, a lot of work on workplace culture. And I've been talking the last few weeks, you know, there's a lot on what I'm calling home place culture, you know, because if you are working from home, which many are, and it is the future of work and it has some great benefits, you still need to be wary of that on and off switch and what your circuit breaker is, because your hours become, as you know, longer and more intense
Yeah, absolutely. So how do people work with you, Renee? How do they contact you?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is probably my website, which is Renee. I can spell it. It's a long one, or we can put it under reneegiarrusso.com. We have all our programs on there. We do a lot of bespoke and tailored programs. We're not cookie cutter, so we tend to, with our clients, really find out, what challenges they've got, what the opportunities are internally and externally, process and idea driven, and then create the programs around that. That's probably the best. We're on LinkedIn. We do a lot on social media, write a lot of articles and things. And also our Limitless Leaders podcast, which is on Apple and Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited to have the book on the lockdown library. I think it's a great resource, especially as we head back into lockdown in Victoria, and I feel as though people across the world are going to start going back into lockdown. Feel as though that's going to be the next level. So hopefully lots of people can benefit from some reading and come out better, cleverer, wiser.
And I think it's a great idea. And even jumping into the library, I've let all my clients know about the library. Jump in and if you're not a reader and someone else is, then share those insights and create a bit of a virtual learning hub, which could be half an hour a week as a group via Zoom or Teams, which is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a great idea. Yeah. Thank you so much, Renee. It was brilliant to speak to you, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.